Such a mess. How do I find anything? Seriously, how do I do anything? Hello stampers and crafters, my name is Sarah McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today's project is this one. I'm loving how this turned out. We are going to do a little bit of coloring with some Stampin' Blends today, but I am using the Last Chance bundle, Country Flowers, from the Country Flowers suite. This bundle is in the Last Chance category, so I am going to show you how to use it to create this card. So if you want to see that, please keep watching. So for this card, we kind of have a lot going on, but that's okay. I'm going to be showing you how I do the coloring. I'm using a whole bunch of Stampin' Blends. You can use whatever markers you have, but we are going to be doing some coloring today with the Country Flowers stamp set and the Country Flowers dies. We're going to be starting with our stamping. I'm going to be using 4 dies. This one here, this teapot jug, the table, and then the So Lucky to Know You. I also have my Memento ink pad and some scrap paper that we are going to be stamping on. So let's start with our stamping. I'm going to move our card out of the way just so I don't accidentally ink it up. So for the jug and the die, the jug and the table, let's do those first. The table, I didn't do anything extra to. I just inked it with the Memento ink. And then I stamped right on this designer series paper. This is the Country Woods designer series paper. This actually, the paper is staying. The Country Woods, the Country Lace paper is staying around, which is exciting because I do love a good designer series paper, and this is a good one. A lot of the papers this time are staying. I'm going to ink up the little teapot, and we're going to do on that designer series paper, and then I got to clean the stamps off, or clean the stamps off because I need the blocks. But there's quite a few papers that are in either the annual catalog or they are in the online exclusives. They are sticking around, so that is very exciting. Because I don't know about you, but I'm not one that goes through like a whole pack of paper very quickly. I use the designer series paper a lot, but they give you so much that I don't necessarily go through it. So now I'm going to put our sentiment and our flowers on the blocks. Oops. And I'm bound determined to get ink all over me. Then ink up the flowers. Let's ink up our sentiment. Our sentiment's going to go on this little scrap here. Just like that. And then our flowers, just make sure that's good and inked. I'm going to go like this. We're going to ink it up there. So that is it for our stamping. I'm going to put this ink pad away before I make a mess. These two, I'm just going to set to the side because we're going to die cut those. But these ones we are going to color. And I have a whole bin of Stampin' Blends here. I'm going to call out the colors as I go. Like I said, though, you do not need to have these specific colors. Whatever colors you have in your collection, or if you have different markers altogether, it's fine. I'm going to start with the teapot. And right now I'm using the light and the dark balmy blue. And I'm starting with the light. I'm just kind of scattering color. I'm not really coloring with any rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of scattering it around. And that's the fun thing about coloring and using this designer series paper, is that it's going to look different every time. So I'm going in with the dark balmy blue to give it a little shade and go into some spots that I didn't go for. I'm kind of going with some of the texture of that wood. And then I'm going to take this as light and dark smoky slate. I'm going to take the light and the bullet end there and just kind of go over some of that. Again, like there's really no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of going with the wood grain, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to go in with the dark and the brush tip and just kind of go over what I just did. Again, no real intention there. So as I'm done with these, I'm going to move them aside so I don't get confused. So this one is done. We can move that aside. Now let's do our flower. So for the flower, I don't know, I really like pinks and purples, but I also wanted to see what this orange would do. So we're going to start with Flirty Flamingo. I have light and dark here. And this big flower in the middle, I'm going to go in with the light. And like I said, just coloring it, scribbling a little bit. And then I think I did this flower too. And I just will do the top part. And then we can go in with the dark to do this. And again, I'm not really coloring the whole thing, just kind of scribbles. We'll fill it in as we go. I want to let that dry a little bit. And now I have fresh freesia, both the light and the dark. I'm going to use the bullet tip end for this part though. Just kind of scribbling all around. And to me, this gives the best kind of dimension when you just do little scribbles like this, because when you fill it in with other colors, there's different tones, right? And I'm no artist, but like it's just different shades. So like there's white spots and I'm going to fill them in with some of this pumpkin pie light and dark. I'm going to fill it in. And so where there's pink, it's going to be a little darker. And where there's white, it's going to be a little lighter. Just, I don't know, it's kind of neat. I'm doing the center and going around and I'm just kind of coming out. And just kind of going into the flower petals. Same thing here, we're going to do the middle. And I'm going in where I did darker and just kind of coming out. I'm not touching that center flower really. Oh, and I also wanted to do that on the fresh freesia flowers. And by letting it dry, the colors aren't going to blend as easily, which is pretty much what I want, because I kind of want this to be like a stand out a little bit, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to go in with the dark fresh freesia, and I'm going to use this brush end, and I'm just going to kind of go over where I did that pumpkin pie, and then we're going to go back in with the light and just touch it up. Again, I'm no artist. I just go do what I feel. It's your card, so however you color it is how you color it. So now the fresh freesia is done. I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to go in with the light Flirty Flamingo again over these flowers here. And I'm just kind of going over the whole thing this time, blending that pumpkin pie in and making that top flower just a shade darker, going over these petals, giving it a little bit of dimension. So all of these are done. And now for our greens, our greenery, I have Lemon Lime Twist and Granny Apple Green. I'm going to start with the light Lemon Lime Twist. And I'm just going to go over all of the leftover leaves. And again, when I go over them, I'm not really filling in all of the spots. I'm just kind of randomly coloring. So now I have the dark Granny Apple Green. I'm just going to kind of start at the bottom and work that up a little bit into the leaves here. It's just going to give a different tone. I'm going to take the dark Lemon Lime Twist and we're just going to kind of go over all of this. I saw Patty Bennett use the Lemon Lime Twist and the Granny Apple Greens. I believe it was on using the same stamp set as well, and I just remembered that color combination. I loved it so much for leaves. I actually every time I color like green leaves now, I tend to go for the lemon lime twist and the grainy apple green. I just love that combination so much. I don't want to say it looks realistic because I mean clearly it's a stamped image, but I just think it makes them look, I don't know, they have such a better feel, better vibe. So if you wanted to go back in with the dark or the light grainy apple green and go over some of the shaded parts, you can to make them pop just a little bit more. And then there's some parts of like the leaves that are white a little bit. I want to get that out of there. So just kind of touching the leaves with this light grainy apple green. And then that looks good to me. Now I can take all my blends. I have the blend storage, but when I'm doing videos, it's just easier to have everything in a bucket. I can put all that aside and do some die cutting. So for the die cutting, I'm going to use the Country Flowers dies. We're going to use that table. I'm going to use that teapot. And then this one is for the flowers. For our sentiment, I'm going to go in with the Nested Essentials dies. And in the Nested Essentials, I have these cool rectangles, these banners, and these. We're going to use the second smallest banner. It doesn't look like it fits, but trust me, it does. And then also while I'm at it, I'm going to be die cutting the textured notes with the textured notes dies. And I'm going to take this one here. Is it this one? No, it's this one. The second largest of the textured notes dies. But how cool. If you were missing rectangles, the textured notes dies are it. So I'm going to die cut just a piece of basic white using this one. Get everything die cut, my stamps cleaned up, and I will be back to show you how to put the card together. So I've gotten everything die cut. Now we can put it together. The flower die moved slightly on me as I was die cutting, but that's okay. I still think it looks fantastic. So now we're going to put down our layer. So I have that textured notes dies. I'm going to put a piece of the Country Woods. I think I like this one. Sometimes I like to just lay it out and see. Yeah, I still like that side. You can use whatever paper you have. This is die cut to about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the inside of the circle, which I feel was like 4. Now let's measure it. It was, the inside was 3 by 4.5. So I did 2 7/8 for the designer series paper by 4 3/8. And then our other sheet of designer series paper here is 5 1/4 by 4. So we're just going to layer that. And this is that Country Lace designer series paper. Again, the papers are sticking around. The bundle is what's going away. And you might want to double check if they're even, at the time of recording, they're still available. But sometimes getting the bundle isn't cheaper when they're on last chance. So I know the one I used last week, like the Duck Pond, Charming Duck Pond, I'm looking for dimensionals as I'm speaking, but the Charming Duck Pond bundle was not cheaper as a bundle. It was actually less expensive to get the dies and the stamp set separately, only by like $2, but I mean, still every little bit helps, right? And I don't think I have another full pack of dimensionals, but I always use my edges. So if you have these edges, these are great for things, big pieces like the textured notes dies. So you can just take the edging, and that way you're not using your regular dimensionals. You could save those for other projects. So I'm just going to take these off and we're going to stick that right on our card. And again, this is a thick basic white. I love thick basic white. I thought for a second they were taking it away and I got really nervous because I love it so much. If you've ever used like other cardstock, like at your local craft store, I think it's just Stampin' Up's quality is so much better. Even if you're not really that into cardstock, right? Like, but you get Stampin' Up cardstock and then feel the quality of other ones, and you're like, this isn't it. This stuff is where it's at. Now we're just gonna layer this kind of over that teapot because you want it to, you know, look like it's popping right out of there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to slide it right up into that corner like that. And for this card, I'm going to pull this out a little. I should have put that down before the flowers. Pop that around there. For this card, I didn't use any bling, only because I just wanted those flowers to really shine. Now, what you could do, and what I should do more often if I can find it, here it is you could go in over your like flowers here with this Wink of Stella glitter brush. And I think I'm gonna do, and that's just gonna give it even more bling, right? Like it's gonna make it pop even more. And I'm just putting a little bit down. It's probably super hard to see on camera, but it's just a little tiny touch that goes a long, long way. Let me see if I can bring that up and catch the light a little. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but trust me, this Wink of Stella brush is a really inexpensive way to add lots of character to your cards. So I hope you enjoyed this project today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel to see more card making videos from me. I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check all the links in the description of this video. I will see you next time.